Hi, and welcome back to Munamind, where we tackle topics surrounding education and child development. Today, we're diving into something that absolutely blew my mind: China's education system and why everyone's talking about how they're winning on the global stage. So, here's the thing: I had the opportunity to visit Beijing a couple of months ago, and honestly, I was completely blown away.
Welcome to Tender West Southern Line of
哎，这块有一个天台北面有一个那个乙在录制。
I mean, I loved every single second of it. It was truly an amazing experience. And if I'm being totally honest, I felt pretty humbled by the whole thing. Look, I'll admit it. Growing up in Western culture, I had some pretty specific stereotypes in my head about what China would be like. And wow, was I surprised in more ways than one. One of the coolest things I noticed was how they woven their culture into absolutely everything they do, especially fashion. But hey, opinions aside, today we're talking facts, and we're going to explore how China's long-term investment in itself is paying off in massive ways. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and save this video so you can share it with your friends later. Trust me, they're going to want to see this. And without further ado, let's get into it. So get this: China has built the world's largest education system, lifted 800 million people out of poverty, and now leads globally in university rankings. We're talking about a country that graduates over 10 million college students every single year. Just pause for a second and think about that. That's literally more than the entire population of most countries. And it's not just about pumping out massive numbers of graduates. They're absolutely dominating global university rankings in ways that would have seemed impossible just 20 years ago. I'm talking about real, measurable success here. China has now 225 universities ranked in the world's top 1,000. Let that sink in. That's more than any other country on the planet. They've got 396 universities in the US New Global Rankings. And yes, they're leading the world in that too. But this isn't just a numbers game. We're seeing 33 Chinese universities crack the global top 200, and they're completely dominating cutting edge fields like aerospace science, astronomy, and integrated circuit technology. But you know what really tells the story? What's happening at the foundation level. China has achieved something pretty remarkable: over 90% enrollment in senior secondary education and over 60% enrollment in higher education. That last number? Experts consider it exceptionally high by international standards, and they're maintaining it across a population of 1.4 billion people. That's not easy to do. Now, the investment backing this transformation is absolutely staggering. We're talking about over 4% of their GDP going directly into education consistently for nearly a decade. And you can see where all this money's going. Over 90% of their primary and secondary schools now meet national standards for facilities and equipment. This is about systematically creating the infrastructure for cognitive development on a scale we've literally never seen before. Just to give you an idea of how serious they are, public expenditure on early childhood education alone increased 9% between 2015 and 2021. But here's where things get interesting, and honestly, a bit complicated. Behind these incredible numbers lies a story of some pretty serious challenges that could completely reshape their future. But before we dive into that, don't forget to check out Munamind.com, where you can learn how to enhance your child's development from home through simple and fun activities. I'll drop the link in the description box below. Okay, back to China. So despite all these impressive achievements, China is facing some serious structural challenges that could actually constrain their future growth. And the biggest one? Their population is declining. And it's been dropping for 3 consecutive years now, through 2024. Here's a number that should worry anyone thinking about the future. By 2050, 39% of their population will be over retirement age. That creates unprecedented dependency pressures that no country has really had to deal with before. And besides that, youth unemployment is sitting at a critically high 18.8% as of August 2024. And some independent estimates, they're suggesting rates as high as 46.5% when you include discouraged workers who've basically given up looking. Think about this. 12 million new graduates entered a weakening job market in 2024. That's creating some serious social pressures that could honestly undermine their stability. There's even this cultural phenomenon they're calling full-time children, educated young adults who are living with their parents because they can't find work. That tells you something about the broader economic challenges they're facing. And even though I've shared some pretty impressive statistics with you today, educational inequality is still a huge problem despite all these overall improvements. Less than 5% of rural students gain university admission compared to 70% of urban students. Rural areas are dealing with teacher shortages and resource constraints that urban areas just don't have. The urban-rural education gap shows 0.75 standard deviation differences in word tests and 0.54 in mathematics. That's highlighting some pretty persistent disparities that they're still trying to figure out. So here's what I think this all means. China's educational transformation is genuinely impressive. There's no denying that. When you look at the scale, the investment, and the results they're getting, it's clear they're doing something right. The numbers don't lie. Massive higher education expansion, global university ranking leadership, and systematic poverty reduction on a scale we've never seen before. They've actually created a foundation for the kind of cognitive development that could shape the global economy for decades to come. But here's the reality check. Success isn't just about impressive statistics. It's about sustainability. The demographic challenges, the youth unemployment crisis, and the persistent inequality issues, these aren't small problems that will just work themselves out. They're structural challenges that could determine whether all these current achievements actually translate into long-term global leadership, or whether China hits some serious roadblocks along the way. The next decade is going to be absolutely crucial in determining which direction this story goes. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If this completely changed how you think about education systems and global competition, please hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started. I'm working to build a community of people who want evidence-based insights about education and child development, and I'd love to have you be part of that journey. What do you think? Drop a comment and tell me. What surprised you most about China's education system? Are there lessons here that other countries should be paying attention to? I genuinely read every single comment, and your thoughts often inspire our next videos. Until next time, bye!